Good afternoon. I'm disassembling another speaker from the trash, maybe perhaps to salvage the magnet and perhaps to salvage other parts. Before I hold the video with the other update on the slides, I need to repeat myself, and I don't know why I need to do it, but I need to do it. Because people refuse to understand and things that are of paramount importance, and the word paramount is not used literally in literary fashion or without care. Yes, it is of paramount importance. Things that are of paramount importance should be reiterated. Perhaps it will, in some way, break the walls of reluctance and lethargy that are all over the place in this world. There is a huge amount of people, like a large population that I call titans, that are originated from another planet on the Earth. They are under the control in various degrees of Homo sapienses. At that point, I do not expect anything at all from Homo sapienses because these are trash people, all of them. Of course, the worst kinds are the ones that are in Israel. But all over the world, and especially in the United States, which is the guardian of Israel for a long time now, humans are just trash. They are trash. They exhibit and take pride in all sorts of values, progressive and woke values, and in the same time they crush other species that have no mouth and cannot represent themselves and have no political power, and they do it in a way that is much worse than the Nazis or any other, or the Confederacy or any other dictatorship or totalitarian or authoritarian or slave mongering civilization have done in the past. And there were many in the past of the earth. But still there are titans in this world, and all of them are in a way subjected to the Homo sapienses because they cannot speak freely. And this is the first characteristics of the slave, that their masters take their tongue. But I allow myself to speak freely. I mean, of course, people don't want to hear, or people want to cut my internet connection. I mean, that's another. I mean, I cannot resist everything. I'm only a single person, but I speak whatever I can. So I say that very boldly for the titans. The material that you see, the neos, are abundant in my body, and even if I cannot clone them outside of my body, I can produce them in huge amounts. But it's almost certain that I can actually clone them outside of my body, and there are many, I would say, sorts of evidence for that. I hope that in the next couple of days, I'll be able to show you, the cloning process in a rigorous way. But even if I don't, you need to remember the following thing. I produce this in huge quantities, not only by masturbation, but also by just peeing or spitting. And this was proved long ago. There is a ton of this stuff in my pee. A huge amount was thrown to the garbage, a huge amount, and a huge amount will be thrown in the next couple of days, just for the reason that I have nowhere to store it and I need more. This room, I can barely move in this room because I cannot complain. I'm in a hostel and under arrest. I do not complain. It's the best thing that I could have hoped for. But you should remember, I'm under arrest because I'm a political prisoner. This is a political prison. Israel is a political prison. It's a Nazi state. So, valuable materials behind, the value cannot even put to words, will be thrown in the next couple of days, and already was thrown for many years. Just because that's the way the Israelis wanted it to be. The Israelis knew very well about the situation. They took it whenever they can in all sorts of ways, more disgusting or less disgusting, but always disgusting ways. But most of it was just thrown away, and it will continue to be so. This material, of course, is of great potential value also for human or Homo sapiens, and the videos in this channel, there are hundreds now, are a proof and a testament for that. In another situation where the humans in Earth were not did not behave like Nazis or like wild animals, they could have had a new industrial age and perhaps a golden age of medicine using this material. And this was proven long ago. We don't need more proof for that, but every day is a further proof for this. But they will get none of it. They will get none of it. They can't use it. They certainly cannot clone it. And they cannot give commands to the ones that they will steal from me. They can only eat it, and that's what they've done for a long time now. And of course, they can also give it to you, the titans, with a certain level of cooperation and a certain level of evil and culprit from the Titan agents or the Titan people. But for you, the Titans, this is more than just money or medicine or industrial opportunities or commercial opportunities. For you, this material gives life, and I know it, even though I admit I don't know how it works. Maybe you don't know as well. I do know that it works in much better efficacy than the nanobots that you consumed from other sources. I don't know exactly what. I guess that some of it came directly from Venus by like the raiding, the slave trade route, using the Stargate. Some of it was present on Earth since long ago, because probably under the right conditions this could stay like, it's not organic, it could stay for a long, it could stay for maybe hundreds of, if not thousands, if not maybe even millions of years, in the right conditions. So probably you have the stash of that as well. And also cannibalism, which you participated in, whether with knowing or without knowledge. I guess that most of you actually know what's the, that it's part of it is actually, it's for cannibalism. In Israel, cannibalism is, this kind of cannibalism is just a matter of like a procedural issue, not even something special. If you want this material, the Titans, the things that can give you life and can really enhance your well-being. And I admit I don't know how it helps you. I don't know. Not only that I don't understand the mechanics, but I don't even understand like what's the phenotype, like what's actually happens. I understand that it helps you like look younger and helps you with your shape-shifting ability. By the way, I do not have any shape-shifting ability that I know of. Besides, I can lose weight when I'm dieting and I gain weight when I eat like a lot, but as much like as any other person. But let's leave it aside, it's not the issue. The issue is that if you want a material that is so valuable to you, that cannot be obtained in any other legal way, and is much better than the ones that you can obtain in illegal ways, you need to move your arms and legs. There is no way to to go around it. You will not be able to get any of it, not by buying it, because I cannot sell you that. I am a slave. Slaves cannot trade. And I do not want to participate in any theater show where I presumably sell the stuff, exactly in the quantities that the Israeli Shabak set for me. And of course, it will always keep me in the lowest possible way, like living condition, because that's the way they acted all my life. It's nothing new. So no, you cannot buy it, and you cannot get it by movement of mouses and tongues. If you finish watching this video and you start to move your mouse and tongue, you need to understand this will not in any way advance you towards getting the material. No, it will not. It will only get you farther away from it. You have to move arms and legs. There is no escape of it. You need to move your actual arms and legs. If you have arms and legs and you have arms and legs, you need to move the arms and legs. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, not in a theater show. You need to move to change the position, the actual geographic position of your limbs. You will not be able to obtain any, not even one small neuro, by movement of mouses and tongues. And I know that all of you that are in some way related to intelligence communities, and all you, and even though it's a public channel, I know that most of my listeners come from like, the intelligence communities. I know that they got used to move only their mouse and tongue. But you need to overcome this limitation if you want any of this material. You will never get anything of it. And I will die before I'll give it away for free. I will die before I give it away for free. I give it only in return to something. And this something must be movement of arms and legs. Real movement of your arms and legs, not a metaphorical movement, not symbolic movement, not movement in a theater show, but a real and actual physical displacement of limbs, of your own limbs. Change the position of limbs on this earth, of your own limbs. There are 2 legs and 2 arms. Without such a change, you will never get it. Nothing of it. Nothing at all. You need to move arms and legs. Real arms and legs. Your own arms and legs. Not metaphorical, not symbolical, not theatrical ones. actual ones, actual arms and legs need to be moved. And if you think that you don't have the power for it, maybe that mental power or physical power, or if you're afraid of the Israelis, and you should be afraid of the Israelis. You should be afraid of the Israelis. I said, I mean, very frankly, any Titan that now lives outside of Israel, moving her or his arms and legs in the direction of Israel is a risk. I said very loudly, you will be treated here worse than cattle, worse than farm animals. What I ask you is to put yourself in risk. Yes, the most valuable material that you know of in this universe does not handed away freely. It's handed away in return for something, and this something is a movement of arms and legs, which, in our circumstances, is bounded with risk, because the Israelis are Nazis. This is a Nazi state, and there is no union here. There is no anti-union in the American Civil War context. There are no abolitionists in Israel. There is no anti-slave movement in Israel. There is no single abolitionist in Israel. Everybody in Israel, everyone that knows about the foreigners, and it's quite a bit of this population, because as you know, the intelligence and the defense sector is huge. All of them are greatly in favor of continuing the slave trade, the subjugation, the slavery, and not only that and with great effort and with great enthusiasm. Movement of arms and legs of the type that I ask from you in the direction of Israel will put you in risk. You need to put yourself in risk, if only for the reason of you understanding that the reward is amazing, is magnificent, is something far beyond you can have ever asked. Because you can get those material in quantities. I don't know how long you live, but I'm almost certain you never received such a large quantity in such quality. But you need to put yourself in risk. You need to move arms and legs in the direction of a place that will treat you, if they catch you, like farm animals and worse than that. Yes, that's what I asked you. And by the way, I think that you should have done it, according to my moral outlook, you should have done it anyway, even without any promise of something in return. Just because it's wrong, this slavery is wrong, and you should feel related to it more than others, because it's subjugation of your own species. And I'm not only speaking about it, that's the way I've acted all my life. I should remind you that up until this arrest and this framing that occurred on December 2022, I didn't have prohibition of leaving this country. Not at all. I could have left years ago, and I'm not working for quite a while after I understood that I'm a pawn of the Shabak. And for several years now, I decided to stay in Israel by my own volition, because I wanted to raise my daughters, I wanted to free my daughters from this Nazi place, and also because I wanted to speak loud about the horror that I see, and to act according to whatever I can do. And you know that I can do whatever I can in any kind of way to expose the crimes of the Israeli Nazis, and to try to leverage in any way that I can foreign help for this issue. I could have left years ago without any legal prohibition, and I could have made a ton of money in abroad. Not only by selling the Neros that I knew that I had, but I mean, in many other ways. I decided on keep staying here in Israel in poverty for many years, and not only poverty, but hunted like a prey, like an animal that is prey of predators that abused me in so many ways that I can't even start to say, but I documented many of it during the last couple of years. And no one helped me. I was subjected to horrible torture, physical and mental, for many years without any help. And I've done it by my own volition, because I wanted to stay in Israel, to rescue my daughters, and also to expose the crimes of the Nazi state, and I've done it the best way that I could. So I'm not just speaking, I'm also acting on the same line. So you as well, you need to move arms and legs. Move your arms and legs towards Israel and participate in the most important project of our time, which is rescue me and my daughters from this Nazi place. Of course, I do not only think about myself. I also think about other slaves in Israel, and I've done it for many years. But at that point, after so many years, at that point of my life, I understand that I can no longer help the Titans in Israel from here. I've done the maximum that I could. I've sacrificed everything that I had. Everything that I had. All my friends, all my family, needless to say, all my money, and I had quite a bit. Everything. I've done everything that I can, and I cannot continue to help them from here. When I will be abroad, hopefully in China, new doors will open for me to help those Titans in Israel in more ways. But currently, I cannot do it from Israel no longer. And God knows that I've tried, but it's beyond my capabilities. And also, another thing is that if you will actually rescue me, they will be rescued much more easily because of many circumstantial reasons that I don't want to actually speak about right now because it's not really that important. But for many, I would say, peripheral reasons, my own release from Israel, me and my daughters, will be a great catalyst of rescuing of more slaves from this country. And of course, I will continue to do whatever I can when I'm abroad. And you don't need to have faith in me because I've already proven it through many years of torture, of acting alone, of refusing to make huge amount of money that I could have made in abroad, even without selling any of these things, even without the Neros, even without it. So yes, you need to move your arms and legs. And the most important thing is you should never speak with Israelis. Speaking with Israelis is a crime against God, crime against the Lord. Nothing good will get out of it. Will be made out of it. I just want to add just one injury and one insult of the Israelis. Even though it's not important because, as I say, you should not speak with them at all. Speaking with Israelis is a crime. But just so you understand what kind of obscenities, what kind of demonic creatures are they, I would say that right now, where I stay, during these days, even today, they still, with all their, they still, want to have a deal with me. So I will stay in Israel and give them like everything and stop this crusade. And in return, they will give me a new car, which will be only my own. A car that I will choose. Do you understand how disgusting it is? That's what I want, one of their cars, one of their prostitutes? Why should I get a car? And also another question should be asked. So, until now, you admit that, my car wasn't actually mine, but was actually operated by the Shabak. So it was another person's car. And I should remind you that I'm right now inside a huge legal trial that is surrounding the issue of a car. And that because the car is not and was never mine, but always owned by another piece of shit from the Shabak, this trial is, by definition, something that the Shabak is handling. And that's something that they admit. They admit that I do not see my daughters right now, that children of 6 and 7 years old do not see their fathers that raised them since they were born. And it's like 5 months that they didn't see me at all. And they miss me so much. And they admit that this is the situation right now because they control the car. And they always did, and they tried to bribe me. They say, okay, give us all your material and stop this crusade, and you will get a new car of your choice. So they admit it, using their own mouths and tongues. They say, yes, we abused young children because you do not subdue to us. And if you will presumably stop this crusade and give us everything that you have, we will give you a new car. Not like the one that is currently controlled by us and was always controlled by us. And that's why you are currently in a huge legal battle that prevents you from seeing your daughters. This is the issue of the car. And this is according to their own words and their own statements of the Israelis. Today, to this day. I tell you this just so you understand what kind of scumbags I deal with. They want to bribe me with a new car. Understand how disgusting these people are. Slave owners and predators, and needless to say, sexual deviants. This is a Nazi state. And you, the Titans, first of all, should move your arms and legs to rescue me and my daughters from this slave state.